What's going on, everyone? My name is Final Boss Ron. It's Friday, March 19th, and we're bringing yet again another expectation-crushing, DLC-teasing, tournament-acquiring episode of Patch Notes. Now, there's no better way to kick off this episode than by actually revisiting one of Warner Brothers' most heartbreaking, mathematically challenged movies, Justice League. That's right, we're just about a day removed from the Justice League being re-released on HBO Max's streaming service, this time actually done by Zack Snyder's vision as he had intended for what the movies were originally supposed to kind of turn out to be. Throughout the other movies he had made, if you don't quite remember, he started off by directing, I believe, Man of Steel, into Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, and then kind of was supposed to end with Justice League and continue from there. But unfortunately, tragedy had struck Zack Snyder's family, which required him to step away from the role, and it left the door open for another director to try and attempt to fill out the vision that he had planned for the DC universe, and that director was Joss Whedon. If you don't know who he is the director behind Avengers Age of Ultron, as well as he does have a writer's credit for the original Avengers. Now, when this was announced, I did have many concerns with regards to Joss Whedon coming in, taking over for the helm of Zack Snyder, at least directing the DC movies. He directed Avengers Age of Ultron, and there wasn't really anything too wrong with the movie, but my principality alone was the fact that it was someone from Marvel's courtyard coming in to go direct a movie in the DC universe, and just the optics alone seemed to serve just the premise that he would obviously probably meddle the film in order to kind of cut down the competition. And that's really just based on opinion. Of course, I'm sure there are others out there who have felt that kind of way or still do feel that way, but at the end of the day, as a director, your job is to make the best movie tailored to your vision as possible. I don't think you can really afford to tank a movie. So to bring the recap to a close, Joss Whedon comes on to direct the movie. It's a 2-hour long movie that's kind of a stinker. I honestly don't really remember the ending behind of it, but it left a lot of the DC fans who were at least behind Zack Snyder's vision that he had when starting out from the Man of Steel to the Dawn of Justice side very disappointed, and then those who just never believed in Zack Snyder's vision, I guess, beforehand, they pretty much just had bragging rights going forward with the fact that Justice League was a flop. So bringing us back to now, after a lot of different points of information were released and uncovered about what Zack Snyder's original intent was behind the Justice League and how it was supposed to shape out, we moved to the green light to let him film and reshoot the movie based on his original vision, and now it's been released and it's sitting in HBO Max, which I think ultimately should still be very exciting for DC fans, especially those who jumped on when Man of Steel came out and, were just interested in seeing what a DC version of the MCU could possibly be like with all the different characters that exist in the DC universe, and even see some other characters get retribution with regards to the flop that was Green Lantern's movie. I think based on the information that's been released and put out there with regards to what he's been reshooting, this will at least bring the DC verse to a close? Question mark, at least. There may be some open plot points at the end of this movie that could potentially allow for sprawl with other directors to pick up those different plot points. Or, I mean, hey, if the money bag's even large enough, Zack Snyder could possibly come back and finish out his vision. We'll have to really see the performance from what Justice League does on HBO Max with regards to watch time and how many people actually even pick up the movie. I'm very excited. For the parts that I do remember the original Justice League movie, there were some good bits in terms of putting the league together, uniting the 7 even though it was 6. Of course, some other people have been able to view the movie early and kind of do the reviews for it, so you can always check those out on YouTube. And from those reviews, there are still a few negative reviews out there for the movie, but a lot more are actually really positive for the movie, for Zack Snyder's idea with Justice League. I'm not sure if that might be that everyone's expectation was set so low that they're blown away by it, or if maybe the best parts are actually yet to come. Where I'm at right now currently with Snyderverse, I've picked up on part 1 and just ended it last night, as a matter of fact, so I plan on watching a couple of more parts tonight, maybe even finishing it up. For those of you who are unaware, I think it's about 6 parts that it's entirely chopped up into, and what they do from the original Justice League, at least starting out, it seems like they take a lot of the slower exposition-y points and they put them in the first parts to at least kind of get that out of the way and then kind of kick everything else off that's supposed to happen in the movie with regards to the hype, the action, and even the plot points that exist. And once I finish the rest of the parts, I'll definitely report back. I've always wanted to do a movie review on this channel, so I think it'd be perfect to start out with Justice League Snyderverse version. And I'm wondering what you guys think so far. Have you given the Justice League movie a chance now? Did you watch it when it originally came out? Or have you just been kind of checked out since Zack Snyder had his name tied to it and you never really wanted to give the DC Universe a chance? Let me know in the comments below. Keeping things in the realm of superheroes, and these guys are a repeat customer here on Patch Notes, Crystal Dynamics and the rest of the Avengers team have actually given us a new DLC teaser for another character, and it's not actually Ronin. This time, it's Black Panther. And this teaser that they put out for Black Panther actually takes me by surprise. There's a lot of good chunky bits in here that we get with regards to at least getting the idea of where the next chapter is going to take us, and it's actually starting to win my interest a little bit. Of course, we start out with AIM still being the center of the villainous attention with regards to the Avengers game, but an unknown figure is talking to Monica Rappaccini, whatever her name is, to kind of like win her over with regards to, hey, I can help you out, I just need kind of some of your bots. And we get that it's Ulysses Claw trying to win her over by convincing her that he can definitely steal vibranium from Wakanda in order to power up her robots and stuff like that. Now, as far as things go with regards to general engagement with the game so far, I don't know how well this is going to win a lot of the player base that had left back. But what I'm interested to see here mainly, especially with Claw, is as the Master of Sound, how is he actually going to appear within the game? We only have one iteration of him that exists in mainstream media, and that was through the Black Panther movie where he was played by Anthony Serkis, and you know, he did a really great job. And with the MCU, most of the Marvel villains had been watered down, so we didn't get to really see him as none other than just a psychiatrist who was obsessed with finding Wakanda and taking the vibranium out of the country just to kind of fulfill and fuel his own weapons kind of agenda. Now in the comics, it's a bit of a different take. He is still obsessed with Wakanda and everything vibranium related. However, there's another piece that's missing where due to an accident or some event, he's actually transformed into the living embodiment of solid sound. And with the arm that he's actually missing, he has a device that allows for him to shoot like sonic beams out of it. So where I'm going at with this is I wonder what take they're going to have with Claw specifically. I hope with regards to kind of the enemy types that have been introduced into the game, they don't really go backwards and just assume it's going to be normal guy Claw and we'll put him in a mech costume like we have 30 different other versions of mechs to fight. I would really like to see, especially with just the fact that we don't know when this DLC is coming out, so there's definitely some time they can put into this, to see Claw actually, you know, be transformed into how his comic counterpart is, and getting a new enemy type to fight, even if it be him as a boss or even some of his, you know, some of the little minions that will fight too as well, like little sound minions and stuff. I think it would be really cool to start opening up the world, giving us more enemy types and freshening up the gameplay. And with this DLC, I'm really hoping that we actually add more to the pool of villains that we can pick and choose to fight from inside the game. During the last Patch Notes episode, we talked about the fact that there's only 5 bosses that exist, 3 of which are actual Marvel villains and 2 which are robots. So hopefully here Claw gets to be joined among the likes of other Black Panther rivals like Manape, M'Baku, and also Killmonger too. If Killmonger shows up, that would be really interesting, even if he's like a side boss and something that we can kind of do a repeat event for and gain some more cool loot. I'd definitely like to see those characters added in. Would like to see how they play, especially even if it's just kind of a mirror fight between Black Panther and Killmonger and we kind of get some more of those cinematic events in between. I think would be really awesome to see. As well, going off of it, I hope there's some kind of White Wolf reference, if whether it be a Black Panther costume or even if he's just kind of hanging out in Wakanda. That would be a really cool nod to see as well. But the other thing I'm curious about is we have yet to get any kind of news or idea as to where the Spider-Man DLC is that's exclusive to the PlayStation consoles. From what we were told last, Spider-Man was slated to be released out this month of March. However, no news has been kind of shed towards that. So I'm wondering if maybe they pushed it back, if maybe there's a conversation going with where the state of the game is, if they're trying to break out of the exclusivity and bring Spider-Man to all the other versions of Marvel's Avengers. I think with regards to how the player base has diminished, that would definitely be one key element that would save face within the video game series. So what do you guys think with regards to the reveal from Crystal Dynamics? Is it enough to get you at least interested in going back to the game, prepping up, doing a little bit of grinding, getting ready for his release later on in this year? Hopefully it's not that long with regards to when the DLC will be released, because we kind of need the content now in order to bring the players back to the game and hopefully inject some life into it. What are you guys hoping to see overall with Wakanda? Do you think we'll get a hub world, or are we just going to essentially have Warzone missions where we're kind of in there for a little bit, jumping from place to place? Also, level variety. Do you think anything's going to change outside of the status quo, or are we pretty much just going to have the same aimbots, and will Claw even be relegated to jumping in a Gundam suit, or are they actually going to give him his comic abilities, and will we see some different variations with regards to how those boss fights are going to work? Let me know in the comments below. Also, which character do you think would potentially be next if we're just throwing out kind of guesses of who we'd like to see? Personally, with who's there, my prediction is that it might be Ant-Man. So of course, as more news comes out, you'll definitely see us cover it here on Patch Notes. And we're on a hot streak with regards to gaming related acquisitions that have taken place. Sony has partnered with a new esports venture company by the name of RTS to actually purchase the esports event EVO. And for those of you who don't know, EVO is the equivalent combination of the Super Bowl meets the MLB postseason meets WrestleMania for the fighting game community as a whole. Through no real means, like whoever wins this tournament gets the Super Bowl trophy and like the fighting game season is over, more along the lines of this is the penultimate tournament that takes place usually around July time, where all the fighting game players in the competitive space head down to Vegas at the Mandalay Bay Arena to duel it out with regards to whichever fighting game they've been involved in. Fighting games like Tekken, Super Smash Bros., Dragon Ball FighterZ, Mortal Kombat, and thousands of others are all represented here by pretty much the best of the best to see who actually will be the EVO champion at the end of the 3-day cycle. With that, a lot of competitors at EVO bring their A game, even if they're first timers who just signed up just for the hell of it, and even longtime competitors who have been around since the days of Street Fighter Third Strike, who have brought us great moments throughout the tournament. All come together to see who's the best, but then also at the same time teach each other too how to be better, especially going in the tournaments forward. So I'd 100% recommend, if you're ever tired of watching the LCS, if you're ever tired of watching the Call of Duty League, just head on over to YouTube and go look up some highlights from the EVO tournament aside from the one I just showed here. You'll find all sorts of different comebacks and hype moments that happen, not even in just one fighting game, but many, from Tekken all the way down to them's fighting herds. So from that synopsis, moving into Sony's acquisition of the tournament, I'm really wondering what the move is here. Of course, right now we're dealing with the global struggle that has caused a lot of these tournaments to be put on hold, and essentially even this year we're not really seeing too many of those tournaments be stood up. I think right now, as of where it stands, EVO 2021 will be online. I'm wondering if the acquisition is maybe for the future, where in 2022 we could possibly go back to getting real tournaments should everything start to turn around with what's happening in the world today. As far as it goes for EVO 2021, it'll be an online tournament just like it was last year. I think honestly this is just a tactical purchase made for next year. Of course, Sony will definitely bring their infrastructure, which could help with the hosting of the event online, but we'll likely see some turnaround when it comes to next year with regards to the money that it could potentially bring in. And now with Sony backing it, we'll probably get a lot more events and a lot more different, things that'll happen because of it. My only concern here is with regards to Sony being under the helm. Does that mean that fighting games that are exclusive to other consoles with regards to PC or Xbox, I think honestly Xbox is just Killer Instinct, and Killer Instinct, as much as I would love to see it come back, has been out of the picture for a couple of years now. So this would be more focused on those tournaments held for the PC games, as well as I just forgot about Nintendo, and I know the Smash community probably won't let that down. Will Smash Brothers even make it into the tournament with regards to next year? That's all up in the air, and we haven't really gotten much word with regards to what's going to actually happen from this purchase. I think in the long run it's going to help EVO get on that podium with regards to how the Call of Duty League is revered, as well as the LCS, and definitely this could possibly open more eyes to the fighting game realm, and we'll start to get more players entering in those different fighting games. And with that attraction and with that crowd coming in, maybe some developers will catch on and start making fighting games that would also be featured in EVO and the other great tournaments that take place throughout the year. But for those of you at home watching, I leave you with the question of what would it take for you to actually get to tune into a fighting game tournament, or maybe even dabble in the genre itself. If you guys have played fighting games, what fighting games do you typically enjoy and like from the features that are offered in them? You know, whether it be the movement and combat of Tekken or the face rolling your keyboard when playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. Let me know in the comments below, and also what fighting games you'd like to see possibly come up next, and any new features you want to see incorporated in them as well. And that's going to wrap up this episode of Patch Notes. Of course, guys, as always, if you like the video and want to see more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and tap that bell just to get notified when my next video will be coming out, or even when we possibly go live on stream. And of course, leave a like on the video so we can meet more new viewers and grow the community. Now I have 5 more parts of Justice League to finish up and a review to do after we finish watching it. Of course, stay tuned here for when that gets uploaded, as well as stick around for when we go live for our streams. But my name's Final Boss Ron, and I'll see you guys next time.